good morning and happy Thursday, or Friday Eve as I like to say. I am currently sitting in my backyard soaking up the sun. It is just one of my favorite pastimes. My neighbor's dogs are having a conversation with my cats who are in the tree, and they do this all the time. So I apologize in advance for the barking. I'll do what I can to kind of drown it out, but in full transparency, they never stop barking. This channel is Beyond Swatches, and my name is Tiffany. I am the knitter behind this channel. However, in recent months and weeks, I have been dabbling into all things, well, not all things, but I've been dabbling into what it would be like to actually have a homestead one day. Am I there yet? Absolutely not. But as a city girl turned country homeowner, I have grass and I figure, we can grow some stuff out here. But because I get overwhelmed very easily, I've kind of just stuck to my garden towers, which usually make an appearance in each video. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoy the content to come. This is not a very structured area of the internet. So if you don't mind a little chaos and a little reality, yeah, so this primarily is a knitting channel though. That is what I started with, and it is the thing that I love. It brings me a lot of joy. It brings me a little bit of like when your brain is overworking and you kind of need to settle your thoughts. That's what knitting does for me. So let's just catch up a little bit. So not really a whole lot to show or share, but I've still been busy. I feel like I've been, kind of just navigating what it is to be a housewife now. I lost my job back in January, and that came with its own adjustments. And so now we're kind of in the thick of it, and I'm not mad at it. I think I could get used to this life. However, the bills, they do start to creep in and you're like, oh, I don't know. But, for as long as I can do it, I am forcing myself to just enjoy it, because it is truly a privilege, and I am forever grateful that this is the time that I've got to do it. So let's talk about some knitting. So as a plus size knitter, as you can clearly tell, I have long struggled with finding designers who not just make bigger clothes, because that's easy enough to do, just add on more stitches, right? But I'm also trying to find designers or patterns that understand that bigger isn't what we're just looking for. Like if you put on a sweater and it's kind of curved to your body, I wanted the curve to my body too, but I also wanted to be flattering. In addition to finding patterns that fit and flatter a plus size body, I also love to teach people how to knit. And of course, all knitters would love all of their friends to become knitters too, so we can geek out over yarn and stuff. However, I understand that not all of my friends or family, even those who live with me, want to take on this as a challenge, which is fine. But through YouTube, I found that there are tons of you who just need some help with learning the skill or the craft of knitting. That's what I'm here for. So if you go to my website, gobeyondswatches.com, you will find a page where you can take a class. You can register for a full-on project class where we will work on a single project together, you and I, as a one-on-one thing. I also have what I call drop-in sessions, so you can register for, like, I'm working through this pattern and I can't figure out what this means, and we can get on a live call together, a video call, and we can work through the pattern together. I can demonstrate things to you that I can demonstrate. It's like it's very much about you and what I can bring to you. So I've been told, and those who have experienced a class or a cowl with me will hopefully say the same, that I try my best to explain things in a very simplified way with the beginner's thought process in mind. That's the things that I offer you. I offer a lot of different ways in which you can utilize me and my time, and helping you to navigate your learning of knitting. So in either case, that's just some of the stuff that I do offer. We're currently in the middle of a cowl, and I'm running two at the same time. And the reason why is because the ranunculus is a sweater that a lot of people hear about and they feel like they're missing out on something. It's a really beautiful pattern. It doesn't look like it when you look at the pictures, but it's a really beautiful pattern. And a lot of people want to make it, but they get intimidated. So I always run a cow for a ranunculus because inevitably there's always somebody who wants to make one, but they get scared. So here I am. But this year, because I also knew that there's people that want to kind of jump over into not expert, but like intermediate or beginner advanced, somewhere around there. We jumped into the Arctic Light sweater, and let me tell you, I have two ladies who are working on it. And let me tell ladies, Miss Pat and Miss Julie, I am proud of you, okay? Even if we don't cross the finish line together, because the defeat sometimes is real. Sometimes you just can't help it, and you're just like, you know what? You're going in a corner until January. I can't deal with you right now. I am proud of the fact that you took the chance, that you are learning a new skill. You're learning how to read a chart. You're understanding how to read your work and look at your pattern and navigating an app and just learning all of the things. It doesn't matter sometimes whether you actually make it to the finish line of a project. Sometimes it's the learning lessons along the way. And I will say that from now until the end of knitting time. It's all about learning. If you can learn something, even if you don't get the sweater out of it, you'll take that knowledge and move it on into your next project, and you'll become better and better and better. Am I an expert? By no means. But do I have confidence? Absolutely. I take on a lot of projects that I can't actually finish. And probably once I get halfway, I'm like, you know what? I don't even want this anymore. So yeah, it is what it is. We meet every 2 weeks. That's the way that I set it up. When I did my very, very first cow, hold on, she's having a moment. I've thoroughly been enjoying logging in every other Monday and just kind of seeing the defeat and the shame. Is like, y'all will never believe what I just did. And I love it. It's just been so much fun. So I appreciate you all for just taking a chance on me and enjoying the time and just making me a better teacher and instructor and just trying to figure out what works. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you from the bottom of my little heart. With that being said, one of the things that I wanted to focus on, or she's back, hold on. One of the things that I had focused on, or was hoping to focus on these last couple of months, was maybe taking some commission orders. I've never been big on doing commissions, but I really love to knit, but I don't have a need for like sweater after sweater after sweater, and after a while you'll end up giving them away or selling them or whatever. So I figured, you know what, see about taking some commission orders. Well, it didn't go that well at first, primarily because I wasn't advertising it to anybody, and I was having a hard time deciding, like, what do I want to make? Like, what thing am I going to offer? Because I'm not doing blankets and sweaters unless you're local and I can kind of get to you and have you try it on and stuff. That's a little tricky, Of course, there's hats and scarves and things like that, but I don't know. I was just a little undecided on what to do. Well, I happened to be on a TikTok live with a friend, and she was like, hey, I want to support your business. So what do you make? Like, what kinds of things do you make? And I just happened to have finished a poncho. So I was like, you know what? I made this poncho and I love it. It's written for DK weight yarn, but I made it in a fingering weight yarn. And the reason I wanted this poncho is because it's a round shape. It is not that typical traditional triangular thing, which I prefer. But it's pull over the head and it just hangs over your arms, right? But because I made it in fingering weight yarn, what that does for me, I'm already having moments where I'm like starting to have little hot flashes and stuff. Not often, but I get a little warm. But then you go into a restaurant to sit down and there's a chill in the air. So having something very lightweight has been like the best thing ever. The only thing is with that particular pattern that I chose, because I'm a bustier person, the measurement wasn't exactly right for me. So it stopped like right here. And I could pull it down and kind of nestle into it, but it was creating a weird shape because the end of it was stopping like right under the bust across the middle of my stomach. And I guess if that's the look you're going for, that's one thing, but that's not what I was going for. However, I made my mom one, and when she puts it on, because she's not as endowed as I am, it falls straight down on her body and it hangs where it's supposed to. So it made me realize, depending on bust size, I'm gonna have to do some increases and maybe just knit it longer. But again, I've been playing around with the numbers, so I made like 3 of them, and I finally figured out what works for me. And when I showed the lady the shawl, she was like, "Oh, I really love that. That's like the perfect thing to have, especially when we're inside and it's a little chilly. But when you go outside, you don't want something so bulky that you can't just kind of throw it in your bag." So I'm making her a poncho. And her friend who was on the live with us was like, "I want one too, and I want to support." And I was like, "Well, thank y'all so much. So I finally got the orders together, and her friend says to me, "I don't really think I will have use for a shawl. Do you think you can make some slippers? Because my husband's feet are cold." So I got in my pattern library and I started looking for patterns, and I found one, and it's made out of super bulky yarn. It's made on big needles. And I was like, "Oh, this is perfect." Then I remembered why I didn't make this pattern before, and it's because I don't like DPNs and I didn't like magic loop. And so that's how the pattern is written. It is written specifically for DPNs or magic loop. Not to say you can't do it on circulars, but I don't have the shorty needles. And shorty needles, sometimes they hurt my hands a little bit, so I'd rather not even deal with those. But oh, they're back outside. I guess they went to have a snack. Hold, please. I don't remember what I was saying, but all of that to say, I went ahead and I tried the magic loop again, and I made the very first one. Let me see if I can find the very first one. So, and also she's a size 10. Her and her husband both wear a size 10. So I was like, "Oh, this is going to be a little difficult because I don't have your foot here. I can't measure it." And then I thought, wait a minute. Isn't the way we measure our feet just like from the heel to the toe, and at its longest point is however many inches it is? So I don't know why I was stressing about it, and that may not be scientifically how that goes, but it gave me a good enough gauge. So my husband's foot is a size 13. I made him stick his foot in here in my practice sock, and it fit. I mean, it was tight and the heel was kind of pulling down, but in my mind I was like, okay, well, that's right about a size 10. And you want to have some wiggle room. Yes, it's a slipper, but you still want some wiggle room in case you want to throw some socks on or something. I don't know. So this was the first sock. Look at the little heel. It's made with it looks so funny. I love it. Look at the little sock. So these are the hibernation, I think they just call hibernation socks. I don't know, Hibernation Nation or something like that. But this is the sock. It's a slipper sock. It's made with super bulky yarn, and I misread the directions at first. I now realize when I have made this sock like 3 or 4 times, which goes to tell you how fast it goes. I made this sock probably 3 or 4 times, and the heel is not hard. The heel is probably the easiest heel that I've ever done. And because it's only across a certain short amount of stitches, it goes really quick. And what else? And because the needle is so thick, or so big, and the yarn so thick, it doesn't take long to get through rounds. This one, I did a 2x2 on the cuff. I don't like 2x2. I think it has its place in some sweaters, maybe cardigans, but I'm just not a fan on the neckline. I don't know. Like, so this cuff of the sock, I wasn't really feeling it, the 2x2 thing. Did I feel it was any stretchier? Not really. I did do the German twisted cast on because it is a little bit stretchier than a long tail cast on. This heel is called a boomerang heel. I don't know what that means because I don't make very many socks. I'm lying. I don't make socks at all. And the only reason I did this one is because it's on super bulky needles. But boomerang short row heel is basically what it is. So you just do a series of short rows across the heel, and you basically go out and in, and then you connect it again. So it was very simple. And if I could do it, trust me when I tell you, you can do this. And then the foot, you just knit the foot however many inches you need it. In the pattern, it says to knit it to 2 inches shorter than your desired length, because the 2 inches there would be the toe. And you do your decreases, and it's like 4 rounds of decreases, and then it's over. It is such a fast knit that I'll tell you about this in a second, but let me show you the other one. So this was my first one, and you can tell I did this one on I did magic loop up here, and then because of the short rows, I was like, well, let me do the DPNs. And I don't know if you could tell, but like it's a little bit spacey between the stitches, and I wasn't feeling it, so I broke down and I just tried the magic loop for the whole sock on the next one, and this is the way that the heel came out this time. I still think it's a little bit of not gaps, but it's a short row, so it's going to have a little bit of a angling thing, but I think it just looks neater. Like, it looks neater. And the reason why is because, like I said, I misread the pattern. This part of the heel is worked on a smaller size needle than this part of the leg, and making it a little tighter made it to where the stitches weren't so obviously gappy, whatever. And so that helped out a lot. And then the foot, it came out so fast and so well, and I'm so proud to say that I have a full-on sock. And look at the heel right there, and it's a nice little. So this I made to my size, which I wear size 8, 7.5, 8, and it worked out perfect. So then I went ahead and cast it on another one because I had some gray yarn. Now this yarn is the Premier Basic Super Chunky, so it's 100% acrylic. It is one of my favorite lines of yarn as far as acrylic yarn goes, because it doesn't squeak when I work with it. It just feels good. It washes well. It softens up wonderfully. Like, it's a really good staple yarn, and it's not that expensive. I want to say a ball of this might have been $3. Well, this one is made with the Woolies Thick and Quick, which is this, which is 80% wool and 20% acrylic. And at first, I'm working with it, and you could feel the wool. Like, you can feel 80% acrylic and 20% wool. My apologies. You can feel the wool in it. You can tell that it's a little bit softer. It has a little bit more something to the stretch. However, some people are sensitive to wool, and I didn't want that to be an issue. So I felt like 100% acrylic would be a better option, unless the person says they specifically want something with some wool content. So I am making another sock. This one, as you can see, the more you do something, the better it becomes. The heel is done, and I'm loving the way it looks, and I am magic looping it. So, I can't say that I'm a fan of the magic loop method of knitting, but I'm not an enemy anymore. The one time that Knitter's Pride cords come in handy, because they're always bendy like this, it actually works out perfect for this type of knit. So it's working itself out fine, and I'm very, very happy with it. Oh, I just realized I never showed you the shawl, because the doggies were barking. See, they're back again. Anyway, but this is the shawl, and I think I had told you all about this before. It's a free pattern called the Whisper. I don't think it's called the Whisper Wrap. I think it's just called the Whisper, or Whisper. I didn't do the lacy eyelet edge because I didn't want this to be fussy. That was one of the things I didn't like on my original one, because it has those eyelets in the back and it's a little bit longer, and that goes in the back. Well, now I don't have that problem. I can literally just take it and throw it on the body, no matter which way you slice it. The eyelets at the top are going all the way around, spaced out. So you just grab it and throw it on. And it's such an easy pattern. Because it's a free pattern, I feel comfortable saying, but I would say just go get the pattern, just download it. But you start on a size 7, and that's this right here, the collar, and I think you do like 4 rounds, and then you increase, and then you put it on a size 8, and you do your increases with your eyelets. The eyelet section in the pattern, I think it was only 7 or 8, and I did 12, maybe 13. eyelets, which gave me my increases to make it wider. And then you basically finish with your eyelets on your size 8. Then you do a certain amount of rounds on your size 9. You go to 10, 10 and a half, and then 11. And then you do your eyelets at the bottom and you're done. So the modification that I'm making for both the width and the length is that I, of course, made more increases. I made more eyelets rather, which would give me more increased rounds. But then in the sections in between the needle changes, I want to say it was like 15 that was in the pattern, and I'm doing like 20, then 25, then 30, then 35. And I think that's how I did it. I don't really remember. I wrote it down because I'm good at forgetting that stuff, but I think it was 20 on the size 9. I just finished the size 10 and I did 20. So I must be doing 20 each one. But on the 11, I'm going to, once I get to the 11, I'm going to measure and see where it stops. So across my body, I don't measure it like from here to here because that doesn't give me a voluminous measurement. So I'm measuring from my collarbone across my full bust and down to where I would like it to stop. And so when I did that measurement on me, I came up with like 22 inches. Normally on a top, I'm about 19 inches if I measure it from like underarm to where I like it to stop at my low hip. But for this, because it's not going like that and it's coming across my arms, once I saw how it kind of laid on my mom versus me, I realized I needed to have more width in addition to more length. So now I have more of a rounded whatever this shape is. It's not a well, I guess a triangle, more like a cylinder. Does that make sense? I think it's cylinder. So that's the only modification that I made to this. The only 2 modifications I made is that I increased the amount of eyelets and I'm increasing the amount of rows in between the needle changes, and it's giving me exactly what I want. Now when I made my other ones, they were all like colorful. So I have a blue and white kind of variegated yarn. I had a black one with some rainbow colors in there. They were like pink, yellow, and blue. Love that. But I had never considered doing a solid color one, and I gotta tell you, I think I like it. I didn't think that this color was a me color, but I could see me making this for myself. When I pull this yarn out, to me, it looks light. But for whatever reason, when I put this together, it looks darker to me. Like it has a warmness that it doesn't have in the skein. And I don't know why that is exactly, but to me, it just appears a little bit darker. And I love it. I showed her the color. She said she liked it. She felt it. She said she liked it. So Miss Tina, it will be coming to you in probably another week or so. I'm just about done. I'm on the 10.5 needle now. And then after that is the size 11. I'm not doing the eyelets because I feel like it makes it more fussy, like I said. And then we'll call this thing done. As far as the slipper socks go, I ordered the yarn specifically for her, so I'm waiting for her yarn to come. And once it comes in, I'll be working on that, and I'll be done with my first 2 commission orders of 2025. Yes, we waited till October, but we got them in, okay? And these, oh, and see the difference on the cuff? I did a 1x1 here versus the 2x2. See the difference? To me, it just looks neater. I don't know. Maybe I'm just funny like that. It just looks neater. So that's how that goes. And yeah, that's all that I have going on. I don't have anything else happening in the knitting world right now. Oh, in that yarn order, I placed an order for me to make these same socks out of, you know, that fuzzy, it's not fuzzy, it's like I guess it's like Chanel, but it's that fluffy yarn that people make like stuffed animals out of. Oh, it's a cat. So I got that, but the one that I ordered is Premier Chanel Bloom, I think it's called, and it's like a patterned color. I think that would make the best child size sock ever, and I want to say I ordered the green one, so it's like green floral print on the yarn, and I can't wait to get it because I think that would be better than this as far as the feel. Like it'll feel so cozy and it'll feel so, you know, whatever. And I can't wait. So I'm really excited. I'm glad that I tried this again. I'm glad that she even asked for it because I probably would have never tried this pattern again. And quite honestly, I've already memorized it. I can do this now without looking at the pattern. Know exactly the numbers. I know the counts, and even the short row section, I already know how to do it without stopping. So I'm surprised at how well it's going, but I'm very happy that it worked out the way it did. So that is all that I have going on in my knitting world today. I am waiting for my Amazon order. I ordered a pressure canning book, The Basics, and I want to can some raw chicken so that I can just have some chicken on the shelf. Of course, we're going to try one to see how it comes out, but I want to can some chicken, and I want to can some vegetables. I saw a video which the lady was like, stop thinking that you have to grow everything fresh in order to can it. You don't. You can just buy the things fresh from like a farmer's market or even a really good sale at the supermarket, and you can just can your food that way, which is so true. It's like you buy your lettuce, or not your lettuce, sorry, you buy your greens and maybe your squash or whatever you're buying, and it goes bad in your fridge. The whole idea of not letting it go bad is to preserve it. So I'm excited to see what the book tells me on the different things that I can try and I could do. Of course, there's jams and jellies. I'm not a jam and jelly type person, but I will be for the sake of learning how to can some. So I'm excited to try it. It's just I don't want to say it's a long lost dream because that would be a straight up lie, but it is something that I've always wanted to do, which is to make everything that I possibly could make with my own two hands. It's just fascinating to me. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to go in now, edit this video, and hopefully get it up by today, and then sit down, finish the gray sock. I'm going to try to finish the second so that I can have a matching pair. Work on this shawl because it is almost done. And yeah, then I go pick up children and get on to my regular housewife duties. So I hope that you have a great rest of your day. You can always let me know what you're working on. You can let me know what patterns you would like me to try that you maybe you're interested in. The only thing I would say, please don't pick a petite knit pattern because I don't really care for her patterns. And it's not a hate thing. It's just that I've had a few of them, and while they're simple in the way that they're written, I don't like the way that they fit me. So if you find another pattern that you want me to try, that's fine. But please, unless you know something that I don't know, then I'll try it. But that's actually it. Now I can go. Now I am done. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.